Okay folks, here tonight we are here to celebrate the special award the community of Clones has received at the recent Pride of Place Awards in Ennis, County Clare on the 15th of November 2014. The IPB Pride of Place is an all-island competition that acknowledges the work that communities are doing all over the island of Ireland. The competition focus is about people coming together to shape, change and improve daily lives in their communities. The competition is about showing respect and inclusion for every sector in our communities, young, old, rich or poor, and creating communities to which the people are proud to say they belong. This annual competition has become one of the most prestigious community awards on the island of Ireland. So once again, I would like you to show your appreciation there for this fantastic award they achieved. So give them all and show them your appreciation for the great award. Before we start official proceedings there, I know there's just a few of us here, hopefully a few gathered. Josephine has asked me to say she's selling tickets there for a great draw that's tomorrow here in Santis in town, so feel free to throw a few euro Josephine's way on the way out. Also on Friday the 12th of December we have our Stainless Launcher. We have 1:30 PM the walk of the Clonus Stainless Launcher starting from the Diamond. The official launch of the Stainless Launcher 2:15. There's a free health and lifestyle consultations from 2:30 to 5:30, and at 7:30 there's a guide to the heart health. So keep free Friday the 12th of December for our Stainless Launcher. Now, our first guest here tonight, I'd like to call on stage here, is Carol Lamb. She is the Community Development Officer with Monaghan County Council, who coordinates the Pride of Place for Monaghan County Council. Please give a warm round of applause for Carol Lamb, please.
I'll not keep you more than a half an hour or so. I'm wearing two hats tonight, one on behalf of myself. I've been involved over the years in many ways with Clones, but also in representing the Chief Executive of Monaghan County Council tonight, Eugene Cummins, who asked me to say a few words on his behalf as well. Eugene had commitments in Dublin today, so he wasn't able to make it back down in time. But he was here on the day of the judging back in August, and he was down in Ennis to support us on the night. And he was very, very proud to be there and to be part of it. And I think he was sort of quietly blown away by the community spirit he saw in all of the Monaghan entries, and as he's going around working with communities throughout the county since he came to the county back in January. He asked me just to say just how proud he is of you and of your achievement. And for people who maybe aren't aware, the Pride of Place has different categories for different population sizes and for some special awards for, say, the likes of a housing estate and that. But this year they had to make a special award because they had an entry that they were so blown away with, but they didn't have an award that would adequately recognise the achievement that that community had made, and that was Clones. And why they wanted to recognise Clones was for the astounding leadership that the community sector has shown to the whole of the town, and the impact that leadership has had on the town. And Eugene asked me to just say to you that he has been so impressed by the power of the community to change the town. And to him it has really demonstrated what can be achieved throughout the county if community comes together and has a vision. Now, Clones Community Forum has been working to that vision for many, many years, and has been able to maybe link things together and get better value than if each group was doing their own little thing in their own little way. And between everything happening, you've created a very special community, one where people care about each other and where everybody has something to offer and their input is valued. Like, I often go out to community groups and you're seeing the same few faces that come to everything you go to in that community. And they're mostly people that are sort of have their families reared or that maybe have children at school, and those are the two age groups that either have the time or that have the real motivation to want something for their kids or whatever. But what I can see even here tonight is the number of young people that have come here. There's a real spread of age groups here tonight, and I think the judges took that into consideration as well when they were going around visiting the various groups in Clonus on Judging Day. And they spent half a day of going around and looking at everything from the Carger through to the Peace Link, down to Cassandra Hand and the Canal Stores. And when you look at it all, and when you see the narrative and you see why things happened and why things were done in a certain way, you really should be proud of yourselves and what you've achieved. And the challenge, I suppose, I'm going to throw down to you today is what can you achieve over the next 10 years? You've been rewarded and recognised for the vision you've had to get you to where you are now. But what are the challenges, what are the problems in Clonus of today and of tomorrow? And what do you need to do, what can you do to face those? And Eugene reminded me, and sometimes it takes, when you're an outsider to an area and you're not familiar with a place, that you come in with fresh eyes, you see things that people are taking for granted. And what blew Eugene away coming in as a Galway man was the tremendous legacy of fine buildings that you have in the town, and the heritage going back to the Round Tower. There's tremendous wealth in this town in that regard, and it's something that, you know, is there to be built upon and resurrected and improved. And okay, it won't all get done in a day, but if there's one thing that you have proved over the last 10, 15 years, is that if you keep chipping away, tomorrow you'll be a little bit further down the road, and in 10 years' time, you won't recognise what you've achieved. So I'd just like to add my congratulations. I was a very proud person, and it made me look awfully well in front of the new Chief Executive that I had a winner on his first year. So thanks for that. And just to say that the councils now, all over the country, there's a new Local Government Act came in the summer, and county councils have been given an increased role in leading community and economic development. So you can expect the council to be there to help you in even more ways than we've been able to do in the past. And do call on us, we're there, and if we can't help ourselves, we hopefully will know some way or somebody who can. So I'll leave it at that, and congratulate you again, and look forward to the rest of the evening, and whoever's going to speak next, because I'm sitting there with some buns to throw.
Okay, well done, Carol. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Carol. Our next speaker here tonight needs no introduction at all. This lady, who I know a long, long time, and has done a great amount of work for this town. Absolutely brilliant girl. She asked me a couple of years ago to do Mr. and Mrs. with her, and we had some crack that night. And then I was deeply honoured when she asked me last year to do the community awards in town. And she myself and herself co-hosted it, and it was a fantastic night, and I thought it was one of the best nights I ever had. So it gives me no further to welcome this lady on stage, Deirdre Kelly, Clonus Community Forum.
Thank you very much, Pat. When you say a long, long time now, the fair idea that I'm a lot older than I've been saying I am. But thanks anyway, Pat. Well, we're going to kick off tonight with the presentation. We have lots of entertainment for you, but we thought it was really important to show you this presentation. This is the presentation that we showed to the judges when we attended Clonus. And it just shows the journey that Clonus has made and where we came from and how much we have achieved over the years. And sometimes it's easy to forget really how much we have achieved, and we think this highlights where we began and the difficulties facing us and how we overcame them. And I suppose I'll just read the citation of what the judges said about the presentation and how it impacted on them. They said, "This is probably one of the most enlightening presentations the judges encountered, and it puts in very clear terms the history of the area and the steely determination over a long period of time by the leaders of the community to overcome many obstacles." There is an obvious sense of pride emerging with some incredible new projects recently established, in particular the development of what is arguably Ireland's finest regional sports complex in Clonus Town. Clonus is a town with a future, and for the power of leadership in its community, Clonus is receiving one of our special awards. So that's what Clonus thought, or what the judges thought of the presentation, and that's why we thought it was important to show it to you tonight. So I have Kathleen over here working the slides, so if you just bear with us. Now, as I said, the presentation this evening will show you the journey we have made, where Clonus started and what has been achieved. It highlights and endorses the importance of collaboration between the community, local authority and statutory agencies. Our first experience in the Pride of Place competition was in 2011, and although not successful that year, it actually spurred us on to continue our work. We knew if we continued to build on both our social capital and our infrastructure that success would come. The people of Clonus have developed the philosophy of yes we can. As you know, Clonus is surrounded by rich heritage. It was founded in the 6th century by St Cernach. By the 1800s it was a busy and vibrant market town which was at the centre of the region. It was a crossroads for railway lines, road routes and the canal. In the 1900s, Clonus was a town of culture, music, and the town played host to the Ulster Flagpole. It also hosted the very successful Clonus Agriculture Show, which was in existence even before the well-known Dublin Horse Show. In 1975, our local paper, the Northern Standard, reported Clonus was a boom town with 400 to 500 people employed by local industries. You will see an example of that vibrancy of the period in our next slide, with the railway, the canal, and the picture of the number 202 Louth train at Clonus railway station in 1956. It also shows pictures of the musical talent and the proud association we had with musicians at that period, and indeed still have. In order to put the next period in context, you will see from the map exactly where you're situated, and I think most people here tonight know exactly where that is. Because of our proximity to the border, the ensuing troubles had a devastating effect on the town and the surrounding area, both socially and economically. Roads were closed, which resulted in Clonus being cut off from 2/3 of its hinterland. Roads were cratered and army checkpoints were set up. Between 1991 and 2001, we lost 25% of our population, and we also lost our important status as the market town for the region. As a result, shops closed, there were major job losses, dereliction and desolation ensued. Indeed, our next slide will show you the devastation of the first bomb that exploded in what is known as the Butter Yard, just outside the door here. And the second picture shows the destruction of the second bomb. Which exploded in Fermanagh Street on the 28th of December 1972. Miraculously, nobody was killed in either bombs, but it left its mark. The troubles resulted in business closures, physical dereliction, job losses and social divisions. The relationship between Catholics and Protestants were fractured. We witnessed a decline in our population, and it led us to having the highest level of deprivation in County Monaghan, with 36% of adults having primary education only. Clonus went from being a vibrant and busy market town to a town of dereliction and social and economic deprivation. The next part of the presentation will show you how the people of Clonus fought back. We had a tradition of self-help. Clonus Cooperative Mart was opened in 1969, and you will see that the Mart Committee, the Mart Committee in the picture above. Indeed, the Mart still plays a very important and active role in Clonus, with over 600 shareholders. There was also a strong ICA organisation in the town, and you will see in the presentation a picture of local lady Mary MacDonald, who served as ICA president in the 1970s. We also had a strong tradition of practical help and a duty to our community. Therefore, it is no surprise that we had a very strong civil defence team in the town who had to deal with some very difficult situations during the Troubles, and indeed such was their experience, they were regular winners of competition at national level. We established the first rural credit union in the country. It's not as bad as it looks, so it's not that many pages. We looked at things and we said, what can we do? What's our strengths? What can we do to improve the situation? This resulted in fireside meetings and bringing the community together to discuss the various options and buy in to the proposed initiatives, and so Clones Development Society bought and refurnished the canal stores. Such was the buy-in and backing from the community. The shareholders of Clones Credit Union gave up 1% of their dividends to fund this. This was the catalyst for all that followed, and it really rekindled the community's self-belief. In 1998, as a result of a specific response to a social needs assessment study by the then ADM CPA, Clones Community Forum was established. Its aim was to develop a coordinated approach to the community development within Clones Town and its hinterland. The forum responded to community needs in Clones at a time when people in the community and its hinterland felt both isolated and forgotten. Community spirit was overwhelmingly negative, and there was a degree of suspicion when it was set up. Such was the cynicism in the area at the time. In 1990, all community groups came together and the work of Clones Community Forum began. They established partnerships with other community groups, local authorities and state agencies. The forum represents over 50 community groups covering everything from youth affairs to disability, who have a shared vision for the town. The forum identified the building bridges locally to re-establish relations with our neighbours across the border. We worked to re-establish our economy and our natural hinterland. To date, the forum have been involved in many wonderful projects and very successful cross-border projects. We have worked in rebuilding relations between Protestants and Catholics. We have participated in real engagement with people from all sides of society, involving everyone from ex-political prisoners to old age pensioners in the Clones Air East area and indeed further afield. Subsequent to this, Clones Community Forum, the local authority and funding agencies came together to form a unique structure, a not-for-profit company where they would all work together for the betterment of Clones. And so Clones Regeneration was born, and in November 2001 the partnership launched the Clones Regeneration Strategy. Its aim was the regeneration of the economy of the town and its hinterland, which would lead to the continued social and economic regeneration. In 2000, Clones Air East Partnership was formed and saw the coming together of elected members and officials from Clones Town Council, Monaghan County Council and Fermanagh District Council. The aim of the partnership was to re-establish the people of our natural hinterland, which included East Fermanagh. It wanted to work toward bringing back a lost generation. The partnership was also involved in activity at multi-levels, from local authority cooperation to hands-on community work. They embarked upon a physical reconnect through visual projects, and you will see evidence of this in the sandstone chairs situated on the diamond and in the entire Air East area. These chairs are located in villages, and most importantly they contain time capsules which children from schools, north and south, Protestant and Catholic, interviewed parents, grandparents and relatives about their experience of the Troubles. Whilst we were at one time seen as being on the peripheral of the Clonus Erne East area, we were now working to position ourselves at the centre of the Erne East area. Through the Clonus Erne East Partnership, another very important group of young people emerged. They formed the Clonus Erne East Shadow Youth Partnership, and there was a need and recognition that it was important to get young people of both religions, north and south, to engage with each other in the community. It also promoted the concept of active citizenship and worked to involve young people in the decision making. The young people proceeded to become involved in various projects such as Use Your Vote campaign at election time, Drink Drive and Awareness campaign. Beer mats were put in all the local pubs, and the areas advertised taxis in the locality, urging people not to drink and drive. More recently, they were involved in a very successful campaign highlighting the dangers of binge drinking. This campaign involved the young people working with Clonus Town Council, Monaghan County Council, the Joint Policing Committee and the local secondary school, Larrabee College. The campaign was endorsed by personalities from both the ladies and men's county senior GAA teams. You will also see from the aforementioned partnerships that we have built up our social capital over the last 20 years. This is an area where there is both a geographical and religious split, and we are very proud of what has been achieved. We'd like to show you some of those physical projects now. These have came about as a result of collaboration between the community, local authority and statutory agencies. These were issues that were identified by our community, and by working together, many of these projects have now come to fruition. The Canal Stores. We all know the Canal Stores is home to Clonus Lace. It recently underwent an extension which includes a brand new kitchen and restaurant facilities. This was part of an overall 1.6 million cross-border Clonus Erne East Blackwater Interreg project. The Erne East Blackwater project is part of a rural regeneration project and is cross-border, led and the lead partners of Monaghan County Council, comprising the Fermanagh District Council, the former Clonus Town Council, Blackwater Regional Partnership and Clonus Development Society. A total of 1.68 million was allocated to various elements of this project. You will see the new heritage signs outside the Cassandra Hand itself, and indeed in many of the heritage sites around the town. The Fermanagh element of this project focuses on the provision of angling infrastructure at selected lakes, both in Fermanagh and Monaghan. The fabulous new play park, which was also part of this project, now sits adjacent to the Canal Stores and was opened in June of this year. It is a wonderful endorsement, and we've had a wonderful endorsement from both parents and children alike, and we are delighted to see so many people now enjoy this facility. Indeed, in July this year, 10,000 people used this wonderful new amenity. The John Matthews Enterprise Centre. This is under the auspices of Clonus Development Society. And Clonus, who incidentally have secured a new tenant for the facility, which is carrying on a meat processing business called McAdams Food. The County Library. The Department of Environment, Heritage and Local Government provide funding for the new state-of-the-art County Library headquarters of 8.5 million. My apologies. The staff are heavily involved, and you see Deirdre McQuaid here tonight, who's been heavily involved in organising this event tonight. They're very heavily involved in the community and working with people and schools and children, and very heavily involved in culture and arts, and recently were organised the commemoration of the FLA 64. The festival celebrates the uniqueness and greatness of Irish traditional music, song and dance in various venues throughout Clonus. As part of the festival, they put together an exhibition of 1964 FLA, which included photographs, newspaper cuttings, memorabilia and programmes. And you will have seen some of them on the slide tonight that Deirdre has prepared for tonight. Clonus Fire Station was built at a cost of 1.2 million, providing 2 fire appliance bays, office areas, training and lecture rooms. The Clonus Technology Park was also built. It was funded by IFI, Border Action, Clonus Town Council and Monaghan County Enterprise Board. It was opened in September 2006. It provides 9 state-of-the-art office units of various sizes. The primary care unit and family resource is now situated in this building, among other enterprises. Clonus Courthouse, which was once the administrative offices of Clonus Town Council, was refurbished and used as a community facility to host cinema, theatre and other community events. This is a prime example of the local authority considering the needs of the community. The state-of-the-art iconic cross-border sports facility known as the Peace Link, and I think everybody in the community is very proud of this facility. This was a very ambitious project which had cost approximately €8.5 million. The local community invested $450,000 in purchasing this land and funding of $50,000 toward the cost of professional fees, and secured through a cross-border partnership with Youth Sport, OMA and Earn Enterprises. An application was lodged by Clonus Early Sports Partnership, and the partnership were successful in obtaining $7.8 million to build a state-of-the-art cross-border iconic sports facility. Monaghan County Council were the lead partner throughout this process, and their substantial financial assistance and expertise has been invaluable. This project could not have progressed without their help. The Peace Link was officially opened by President Michael D. Higgins on the 26th of September this year. Carja Activation Centre. The Carja Activation Centre came about when a group of concerned parents came together seeking facilities for children and adults with intellectual disabilities. Members of the Carja participate in art and craft workshops run by Clonus Community Forum and are very much part of our community. Coolmira. Coolmira is sheltered housing which was developed by local people to facilitate family members with special needs. The Cassandra Hand Centre. I think everybody knows the Cassandra Hand Centre at this stage. Well, the Cassandra Hand Centre was commissioned in 1859 by Cassandra Hand for school, as a school for infants and young girls. Cassandra came to Clonus in September 1847 along with her husband, the Reverend Thomas Hand, at a height of the Great Irish Famine. Life at that time contrasted sharply to Cassandra's upbringing in Surrey, and she was moved by the extreme poverty in and around her adopted town. So she decided to promote crochet as a famine relief measure and set up a lace-making school in her home at Bishop's Courts, just outside Clonus. The profit from the Clonus lace enabled Cassandra in 1859 to finance the construction of the 19th century Gothic-style building, which served as a school for education of infants and young girls until 1911. It is also the heart of the Clonus Community Forum activities, and we are very proud to be housed in this beautiful building. The Protestant Hall. This is testament to the positive developments which have occurred as a result of peace and reconciliation. The Protestant Hall, where members of the Church of Ireland community gather on a social and community basis for many years, has now been restored to its former glory. But for the active support of the Forum and grant aid, the Church of Ireland community may not have been able to restore the building. It is now a place which holds many social events for the benefit of Protestants, Catholics and other religions. The Streetscape Project. As part of the Streetscape Project, the Diamond area of Clonus underwent a beautiful enhancement, and I think you'll see there the pictures before and after, and there's a huge difference, and many people coming to Clonus always admire our beautiful Diamond. It was voted by the community as one of the nicest areas in Clonus to spend time. It was developed and enhanced with a beautiful seating and fountain with a grass area and trees. As part of the Streetscape project, the diamond undergone a beautiful enhancement. A sculpture was erected by the local artist Joanne Behan entitled The Leapfrogs, who you'll just see situated very close here to the Creighton Hotel. The piece, cast in bronze, depicts two children playing the traditional game of leapfrog and represents the community leaping into the future with confidence. The Barry McGuigan Park. Phase 1 of the Barry McGuigan Park involved the development of biodiversity area, footpaths, public lighting and new access points to the corner of the park adjacent to the traffic lights on the Monaghan Road. This was a joint application by Clonus Town Council and Clonus Community Forum. The cost of this upgrade was €68,315, with funding being provided by Leader of €51,236, Clonus Town Council €13,500 and Clonus Community Forum €3,500. We have to thank Clonus Credit Union who kindly sponsored Clonus Community Forum's element of the funding, for which we are extremely grateful. This phase of work is now complete and the entire park will be open to the public. St Cheernocks Park needs no introduction. It has staged Ulster finals since it was officially opened in 1944. As the premier ground in the province, is a source of great pride to the local community and provides much needed business and match days to the town from staging Ulster finals and Ulster Championship matches. Clonus Community Childcare. It provides an excellent and affordable childcare service 5 days a week for the people of Clonus and the surrounding areas. This facility is situated on the Diamond and in what was once a derelict building but was transformed into what is now a beautiful childcare facility. Unuk na Nog. This is the former school which is leased by Clonus Community Forum from the parish and has been given over to the young people of the town. It is home to a thriving youth club and also the Shadow Youth Partnership. In late 2013, a consortium of organisations came together to put in an application for funding for the development of a youth cafe. We are delighted to say that that application was successful and work will be starting on the youth centre very soon. We are also extremely lucky to have wonderful schools in the area. St Cheernocks received a grant from the Department of Education and Science for the development of a new primary school situated on the Rosslea Road. The primary school has been successful in obtaining their 5th green flag and have certainly led the way in environmental awareness. Largy College, the new secondary school, well, it's not new anymore, but it was built at a cost of €8 million, was constructed through PPP and now educates up to 600 young people from the town and surrounding locality. The college offers a wide range of courses at junior and senior level. Clonus Gaels School received approximately $350,000 to move to a new location in 2011. We are delighted that they received permanent recognition from the Department of Education this year, which means they can now apply for additional funding for school development. Plans have been drawn up to build a purpose-built school on the current site and they have received their first green flag this year. Clonus Fáilte, also situated in the Diamond in Clonus, was established to advance education, relieve poverty and provide support and training for politically motivated ex-prisoners, their families and prisoners' families in Monaghan and the surrounding counties. It also supports interested members of the wider community in the region. It assists in achieving full and equal citizenship for political ex-prisoners, displaced people and ex-combatants, and enables them to move forward in a more inclusive society. Tidy Towns. Clonus Tidy Towns are always extremely active in Clonus. The committee works closely with local CE supervisor Peter Sherry and the CE participants and do a wonderful job each year. They, together with the Council and Clonus Community Forum, organise a very successful litter pick each year. This involves all 3 local schools, St Cheernocks, Gaels Gullowish, Largy College and also Carja Activation Centre. Now the next part of our presentation highlights the fact that we do things well. Our spirit of entrepreneurship has brought Lipton's Tea, the credit union movement. We have a proud tradition of sporting excellence. And you will see the very many sports people there. You have James Cecil Park, Rugby International, Wimbledon semi-finalist, Olympic silver medalist in men's double tennis. Barry McGuigan, who needs no introduction, ex-world boxing champion. Clem McMahon, national show jumping champion. Jonathan Douglas, professional soccer player and international player. And Mark Conley, professional soccer player. Clonus people are creative. We use our creativity in positive ways to attract tourism. It is home to writers and artists of world renown. We have Pat McCabe, author of The Butcher Boy, Eugene McCabe, author and playwright. We also have our canal festivals. You'll see up to the right there, our recent cultural night in Clonus, which was spearheaded, as I said, by Deirdre McQuaid in Clonus Library, and with Pat McCabe and many of the musicians who participated and worked hard to develop that in Clonus, and it was a huge success, and they hope to continue that year on year, so well done to them for that. We also have the Canal Festival and some wonderful young writers and musicians also. We also held, more recently, a wonderful Halloween Fest, and we intend to run that annually also. We are extremely proud also to have hosted the National Famine Commemoration, and it was one of the last things that President Mary McAleese performed in her duty as President. Peace building programmes behind the buildings. Clonus Ernie's Partnership, Healing Border Project, Sandstones, Clonus Community Forum, Face to Face, Looking Back to Move Forward, 1 year to heal 400. This is just a few of the peace building projects that we have been involved in, and they have made a huge difference to develop relationships between Catholics and Protestants, north and south. This has all been made possible through on-the-ground, face-to-face, true peace-building work carried out by the various organisations in our community and indeed further afield. This has been a very important element of our work, which has benefited people of all religious backgrounds, north and south. Our focus is to work to heal fractured relations between both communities. The Bikers Mass is also a memorial service which is held year on year and gives families the opportunity to come together to remember their loved ones who have passed away. As Carol mentioned earlier, the challenge is now, what do we do next? Well, we're not finished yet, Carol. We have a vision. And we have a few visions that need money. The Ulster Canal. The reopening of the Ulster Canal has reached a further milestone with the planning permission granted north and south. Waterways Ireland, the local authority and the community sector have been working on the regeneration of the canal for a very long number of years. We are now looking forward to the next stage of the Ulster Canal. And I suppose, and I know Eugene Cummins, the CEO of Monaghan County Council, did mention that and acknowledge that this was a very important element for Clonus. We believe that it's vital for the economic regeneration of Clonus, and we would like to endorse that and say to the powers that be that it is an absolute must to develop that economic and bring economic activity back into the town. So that is part of our vision. We also want to develop Clonus as a place where tourists will want to come and spend time, reach out to isolated members of our community, continue our role as facilitator between statutory, voluntary community organisations, continue to re-establish linkages with communities in East Fermanagh, and promote and protect our heritage and develop a heritage trail. We believe in Clonus we have a can-do attitude. We have been very proud to receive the special award for Clonus at the Pride of Place event in Ennis a few weeks ago. And I suppose just on behalf of all the organised, this award is for everybody in our community. There are so many groups and organisations out there that work really hard, and many of them were mentioned here tonight, and they really do some wonderful work, and without people like that, none of this would be possible. For a small town in Clones, there are so many events, there really is. And you know, we need to support all those events. It's very important to support them because people put a huge amount of work into them. And so we would ask you, any events that's going on, please do whatever you can to support them. So just that leaves me to finish off. As I say, I would like to thank everybody for coming here tonight. I'd like to thank Kathleen, who's down here as always. Kathleen Cassidy does a huge amount of work in the community. I would like to thank again Carol Lamb. Carol Lamb has been wonderful. You know, we call on Carol regularly for different things, and she's always there to give her advice. And you know, she'll be over to Clones anytime you ask her, it's no problem at all. And she really has been so helpful to us over the years and has been involved in so many of the projects over the years. So sincere thanks to Carol for that. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Deirdre McQuaid. Deirdre, as I said, you know, works behind the scenes an awful lot of the time. She does a huge amount of work in the town and works with the community in various art projects. You'll see her everywhere. The cultural night, the FLA 64. She just really is amazing, and I'd like to thank her most sincerely for all the work she put into doing this tonight also. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the former members of Clones Town Council for all their work. We have and had a great working relationship with the council, and I think that proved dividends in what we have achieved throughout the years. It's really by working together that we achieve things, not working in isolation. So I'd like to thank the council for that, the former town council, the new Ballybay Clones Town Council and Monaghan County Council. A sincere thank you for all their help and work. And I know that the CEO, the Chief Executive of Monaghan County Council couldn't be here with us tonight, and I'd just like to thank Carol for his kind words. And just to thank him once again for attending the day of the judges came to town. Thank him also for his support in Ennis, and we look forward to his continued support, and thank him most sincerely for that, Carol. Thank you. So, without further ado, I'll hand you back to the master of the evening, Mr. Pat McCabe. I'd like to thank Pat because he's another person in our community. No matter when we call Pat, he's fantastic. He really is. He's an inspiration. He's always there at the drop of a hat. And he is so good to us in the forum and to various organisations throughout the town. And I know he done This Is Your Life for Pat McCabe there recently, which was a great success also. So thank you sincerely, Pat, for all your help over the years. Thank you.
Now, Deirdre Kelly, what can I say? That was absolutely wonderful watching all that. Deirdre Kelly, a big Bullabus. Well done, Deirdre. Please give a warm Bullabus round of applause for Stephen Masson and Clones Theatre Group.
Hi folks, this is just a handful of the young people who are involved in Clones Theatre School. These are members of our senior group, and you can see them perform A Christmas Carol along with the junior group and the babies who are performing Peter Pan on Saturday week, which is the 13th of December in St. Joseph's Hall. So if you're free, please do come along. It starts at 8 o'clock. Thanks very much. So we're missing one or two people from this scene. This is the opening scene of A Christmas Carol. We're missing one or two people. So there might be parts that are a little bit rough, so please do forgive us, but give them a round of applause and give them lots of encouragement because they're really, really brilliant. So, thank you.
13th morning. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was considered good for any piece of business he chose to put his hand to. Marley was dead as a doornail.
Now, I don't know what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I would think a coffin nail would be a deader piece of iron, but far be it from me to change the expression or the country's done for. So permit me to repeat once again that Marley was dead as a doornail.
Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and the only man who mourned him. If Scrooge can be said to have mourned at all. And the mention of Marley's funeral is about the point I started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or else nothing wonderful can come of the story I am going to relate.
It was cold and the fog was thick as a pea soup on that Christmas Eve of 1843, while Scrooge sat in his counting house with his clerk nearby trying to warm himself with a candle. But since he didn't have much of an imagination, he failed.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle! What? I said a Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Oh, bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? Surely you don't mean that.
Of course I mean it. Merry Christmas indeed. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Uncle, what reason have you to dismay? You're rich enough.
Away with Merry Christmas. What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without any money? A time for finding yourself a year older, not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas holidays should be boiled with his own pudding. Ferret. The stake of holly through his heart. You should.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own room, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. A lot of good it has done you.
Well, there are many things from which I have benefited, even if they didn't show profit. And I dare say Christmas among the rest. But if anything can be taken from Christmas apart from its sacred name and source of origin, I've always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, a charitable, a pleasant time. The only time of year I know when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and think of each other as really fellow passengers to the grave. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, and will do me good. And I say God bless it. God bless Christmas!
Well said, sir.
Another sound out of you! And you'll keep your Christmas by losing your position.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Ugh, I'll see myself in hell first.
But why, Uncle?
Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did you get married recently?
Because I fell in love, of course.
Love. You fell in love. Oh, good afternoon.
But you never came to see me before I married. Why give it a reason as not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you, and I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute. We never had a quarrel, you and I. But I came all this way to give you the greetings of the season. And I will keep my Christmas humor to the last. So a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon!
And a Happy New Year!
Good afternoon!
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit.
Thank you, sir. And Merry Christmas to you as well. Ugh. There's another fellow. My clerk. 15 shillings a week. A wife and a family. Going on about a Merry Christmas. Tired to bed, look.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge and Mr. Marley?
Marley's dead. In fact, he died 7 years ago this very night.
Oh, I'm quite sorry to hear it, but I am quite sure that his generosity is well represented by a surviving partner. At this festive season of year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and needy, who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of basic needs, hundreds of thousands are in want of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons? Did they disappear?
Oh, no, sir, there are still plenty of prisons.
The workhouses for the poor. Still in operation. suits you.
They are still. I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and poor laws are in full vigour then.
Yes, very busy, sir.
Well, are the faithful who had said that something had stopped them in their recent course? I'm glad to hear it. Now, I'm sure you're going to go on about the poor and needing even food and comfort during this festive time of year. I can tell you, I'm not interested. So, by going on about, oh, can you please have a donation? I shall give you nothing. Yes, nothing. I don't make many myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people many. I'm taxed to the institutions I've mentioned, and those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
Oh well. They'd rather die. Perhaps they should go ahead and do it. Decrease the service population. Besides, I wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, you could do it, sir.
It's none of my business. I have too much of my own business to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. And I'll thank you for leaving me to it. Good afternoon.
Rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray.
I didn't ask, you bothered by that noise! You'll want to wait tomorrow, I suppose?
If it's quite convenient, sir.
Convenient? It's not convenient. That's not fair. If I was told you about half a crown for it, you would think you were being abused, no doubt. And yet, you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
It's only once a year, sir. It's a poor excuse for picking my pocket every 25th of December. I suppose you must have it. Be here all the earlier next morning.
Oh yes, sir, I shall. I certainly shall.
Father!
Hello, my dear son.
Father, I've been waiting for you.
Let's go by Cornhill and watch the children play.
I feel I'm getting stronger every day.
And do you remember what tomorrow is?
Christmas Day!
And have the whole day off to spend with my family.
Hooray for Christmas!
Okay, folks, please give a warm round of applause for our next entertainers here tonight, which are the Flanagan McMahon Moore School of Dancing. A big round of applause, please. Owen. Well done. Come here, what's your name? Excuse me, what's your name? Hold on a second. I love to see wee dancers. This is just absolutely brilliant. Oh my God. What's your name?
Caitlin
Caitlin who?
Flanagan,
I love your northern accent. Where are you from?
Batley,
Where? What age are you?
5,
You're absolutely, isn't she just wonderful? Just looks great. Who is next here? Come up here, who's this? Come up here, you young fella. It's great to see kids here. Sit down there a minute. What's your name?
Dara
Dara who?
Flanagan,
Oh my God. Who's all Flanagans? What age are you, Dara?
8,
8. Is this your sister?
yeah,
Oh my God. Who's the next fella? Get over here, you. I'll probably taking on your shoes. Oh my God. Stay in there, son. What's your name?
Mihal,
Mihal. I'm not going to ask your second name, but I'll take a guess. What is it?
Flanagan,
Oh my God. Is there nobody but Flanagans in the house today? Give a big warm round of applause for the 3 Flanagans, and I'm not finished yet. Absolutely brilliant. Who's going to give us another wee dance? What's the name of this dance?
Well, Caitlin's going to do her light jig and I'm going to do my heavy jig.
We're going to have a light jig, but Caitlin, can you do a light jig? What way are you? You're only 2 stones, you're no bother doing a light jig. Will you carry me? No. Am I too heavy?
yeah,
Alright, don't get that there crack, will you? So you're going to give us a light jig, and who's going to give us the heavy jig? The 2 of yous.
Yeah.
And is this Mammy over here?
Or Auntie.
So this is Auntie, a big bull of us before they finish up here for Auntie Catherine Flanagan. Okay, away is going to position. Caitlin, Dara, and come on, folks, get the hands on the Caitlin, come on. Oh, woo! Woo! Right there, Caitlin. Okay, I'm told Michael you're going to do a heavy jig. Okay, good man. Hold on a second, we're after getting live feed news here. So we'll put you over here to Auntie Catherine. Will you just explain that again? Away you go. This is what amateur performance is. Tell them what we've good news here.
Mihal is representing our school at the World Championship in Montreal next year. So it's the second time Mihal's qualified.
This is what it is for amateur dramatic performers. It's not just great. You're going to Montreal, any chance of a lift? Do you want me to go as your entertainment guide? No? What? Go on ahead and do your heavy jig there. Away you go. Okay. Live all the way from the Creighton Hotel with the heavy jig. bow there. Micheál, Dara and Caitlin take a big bow. Absolutely brilliant. High five. Yeah, high five. High five. High five. Okay, well done. And a big round of applause here for Catherine Flanagan, Auntie Catherine Flanagan.
coffee still there if you want it. And that was a heavy jig there by Jerry Douglas as he went by. Used to be a light jig when he was younger. We're going to do a couple of jigs and then we're going to have Katie up her song. But if you want to clap your hands, or as some of the ladies here rattle the jewellery, here, give it a go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Katie Boyle up to sing a song, and I'm not sure which one she's going to do. Katie. Well done, that's our first time singing that song in public, and not easy. Right. Now that we've got the tea again and all the rest, we're going to finish up with a tune. And let you get home to your beds early, because we like to get to bed early. Right. I told the story there, when Pat surprised me a couple of weeks ago, talking about bed. I slept one time in a place in Clonus, which was Peggy and Annie Smith's, which was a pub down near Adamson's. Some people remember it. But Peggy was an undertaker. And the flat in Clonus, in our house, every musician in the country got a bed, but the family had to get out, so the only place I could get a bed was down in Smith's. Turned out the only bed I could get was a coffin. And I did sleep in it, and it was the best night's sleep I ever got. Nobody came near me the whole night, so I never stuck for beds and clothes. On the bottom line, it wasn't hot now where I was either, so I think I'm all right. Thank you very much, folks. I'll hand you back to our MC of the evening, one of the other 7 Pat McCabe's.
Hold on, folks. We're a wee bit ahead of schedule. We're up in the quarter to 10. Anybody that's would they like to play another wee tune before they go? Okay, give us one or two more tunes before we go, because we're a bit ahead of schedule. So we'll ask a couple more tunes of Pat, and we get wrapped up the next 10-15 minutes. We couple of tunes, and before anybody else who has to go in the meantime, go on ahead, but there's a few of us still here, hangers on, and say thanks for the people that came out. I know we all give out about the town, they never really supporting things, but It's just great for all these people that have given up their time, and once again, well done to all the committee for making tonight possible. But it's just, we all know where we live, and it's just unfortunately they don't just come out and support these things. And well done to Patrick McCarver and everybody there tonight, coming out tonight, especially you guys here. Once again, for the last time, the Clonus Theatre Group, the Flanagan McMahon Moore School of Dancing, Raglan College Traditional Group, Pat McCabe and friends, the Creighton Hotel and staff, and most importantly, the organiser tonight. And a special mention here to Deirdre McQuaid and Deirdre Cook. And well done to everybody here tonight for making tonight possible. So I'll hand you over to the last couple of tunes tonight for my buddy, Pat McCabe.
Thank you, Pat McCabe. This is like an echo in this room. Used to be great years ago, you could always blame the other fella. Only trouble, he was blaming me for a lot of things. I remember once, when I was getting to the end of my football career, Pat was on the same team. The referee booked me twice. You can figure that one out there. Right, ladies and gentlemen, before we finish, I'm going to get my other namesake to come up and sing a song. I've been waiting to get my own back on him. So, Pat McCabe, this is your life and you can do what you like with it. Come on.
That's sick or a disaster.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must hide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I am with you. You come and find the place where I am lying. Please kneel and say, and I'll be there for me. And I shall hear the soft you thread upon me. But on my grave will warmer, sweeter be. And when you come and tell me that you love me, oh Danny boy, I love you so.
There you are, it used to be Foster and Allen, now it's Pat and Pat.